Good morning, everybody. Very warm welcome to our Facebook Live today. And I mean warm. We've had an absolutely freezing cold start to the day here in Edinburgh. We've had lots of snow, so I hope none of you are snowed in. But if you are, it's great that you can join us today because we've got a great chat lined up for you. I'm joined by Charlotte Sorrell, one of our lovely Pilates teachers today. So Charlotte's going to explain how she became a Pilates teacher. She's going to run through some of the very important benefits of Pilates. And we'll also highlight some of the classes she has upcoming, so you may be able to join those with her. So without further ado, Charlotte, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah. We've got sunshine in Leeds. It's still pretty cold, but tiny bit of snow on the floor, so it's really nice weather, actually. I'm not complaining.
Good. Glad to hear it. So, Charlotte, what have you been up to? And, obviously for some of our viewers who maybe don't know you, could you just maybe tell us a little about yourself and what you've been doing?
Yeah, I'm a Pilates teacher, obviously. I teach on the Flavours holidays. No face-to-face classes here for a long time. I managed to do a few in the summer. All my classes are on Zoom. So pretty much all my clients are doing it with me. And yeah, so I'm in my front room with my camera and my mat, my dog interrupting every now and again. But yeah, it's fine, actually. I'm really happy that I can still do some teaching, as opposed to some people who are just furloughed and not. I'm also doing loads of CPD and self-practice, keeping myself busy, learning new stuff. I've just done the older person's course with body control Pilates, which I'm working through my exam to do that. So that's another qualification under my belt as well. So yeah, keeping on with it, doing some Pilates, lots of self-practice, and yeah, that's about it really.
That's great. Obviously, wonderful that you are adapting quite well and kind of learning some new skills and getting more qualifications. So what's involved in that qualification you mentioned there? Was it the Pilates with older people, or?
Yeah, it's to teach the older population and any problems that they may generally have, making it more specialised towards that. It's a level 3 qualification, so you've got to do loads of lesson plans to show that you're capable of teaching it, do a video of you teaching as well, and an exam, sadly, which I haven't done yet, but I'm working my way towards it. It's just useful to learn all these different things, I find, and I tend to incorporate them all into my general classes as well. Yeah, you can never learn too much, I think, especially with Pilates. It's you never know it all, never ever going to know it all.
So, yeah, absolutely. Oh, in terms of exams now, I can't remember the last time I'd done an exam. That must be a little bit daunting.
I say every time, I'm not doing any more, but then, in this, yeah. Oh, I've been learning Italian as well. I forgot about that, but that's really embarrassing because I'm rubbish at it. I thought I might make the effort. So I've done a couple of Zoom classes with a local teacher, which has been great, but I need to put more effort into that because I've not learned a great deal at all. So the thought was
you're certainly keeping yourself busy, which is great. And obviously, just to mention as well, as always, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to pop them through, and hopefully we can get them answered by Charlotte while we're live. So Charlotte, just when we were chatting earlier, you told me that Pilates wasn't kind of like your first career. So can you tell me how you became a Pilates instructor and why you changed careers?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was a solicitor. I used to work in banking litigation, which was great at the time. I really liked it, and I was good at it and everything. Then I had children, which sort of changes the whole way that I thought about things. Anyway, my husband was also a solicitor and worked away a lot, so I was stuck with 2 really young children, with a nanny, going to work, and I thought, this isn't what life's about, is it? So I gave up my job basically. I think spent 7 or 8 years at home looking after them. And that's when I discovered Pilates after I'd had my second daughter. It had come up to Leeds because it was still very southern based then. It was sort of quite a new thing. This was a long time ago, this was 22 years ago. And I became very good at it very quickly. Some things just sort of suit the way that you are and the way that you move. And so loved doing it. It really helped me regain my fitness after pregnancies. And then my lovely teacher, who I'd had since I started, decided to move away down to Surrey. And I couldn't find another teacher who I thought was anything like as good as he was. So also wanting to get myself back into work, but not wanting to go back into law. the thought of wearing a suit and heels again just horrified me, really. I thought, yeah, well, why don't I do this? So I did my Pilates teacher training with body control Pilates in London. So it was quite an effort. It took me about 2 years in all. We did an apprenticeship in those days. I sound ancient, don't I? But I had to go and work in the studio down there for 6 weeks, which was quite hard juggling with the kids and stuff. But, you know, I did it, I passed, and that was 17 years ago, I think, that I qualified. And I've been doing it ever since. So, yeah, and doesn't pay quite as well as law, I must admit, but it's great. I love it. I love doing Pilates. I love teaching it. I love how it helps people. Yeah, it's really good, really nice to do.
Right, and by the sounds of it,
yeah, it's great. Honestly, changes people's lives, which it sounds a bit weird to say, but it does. It makes their lives better. So yeah, it's great. My passion.
Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there who obviously enjoy Pilates understand, as you say, how it changes their lives. But you know, for anyone who may be thinking of starting Pilates or maybe just at the start of that journey, you know, can you tell us in kind of your words what are the main benefits of Pilates?
Oh gosh, where would you start? I think one of the main benefits is it makes you feel good. There's a real feel-good factor to it. You finish your self-practice or you finish your class, and you feel great. You feel taller. You feel everything's where it should be. Your shoulders don't ache. Your back doesn't ache. It makes you feel good. It helps you with your posture, so you stand straighter, and so everything works better. It helps with your proprioception, so you know where your bits and pieces are. So you get better coordination, you get better control over your movements, which it's, I don't know, it's not something that people think about much, I don't think. That adds such benefit to everything that you do in life. Makes you stronger, makes you fitter, makes you breathing better, which is probably quite important in this pandemic situation that we're in. Yeah, and it gives you a focus in life as well, I think. Some of my clients just do it for the love of Pilates. Others do it to help them in sport or, you know, in other things they enjoy, like running. And you can adapt it to assist. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so there's a lot of benefits there, and you know, covering a whole multitude of different things. But you know, who is really Pilates for? Can it benefit everybody?
Absolutely everybody, yeah, from elite athletes to really old people, I'm going to say, but people with lots of physical problems. It can really help with limited mobility. It literally helps everybody. You can do your full classical Pilates mat work, which is quite hard work, very challenging. Or in body control, we break that down. So we do smaller exercises. So you get the benefits of the Pilates principles, and it's doable. It's like in bite-sized chunks. And then of course you can work up from there to doing harder exercises and challenge yourself a little bit more. But absolutely everybody, yeah. When I was doing my training, it was when all the rowers were in London training for one of the Olympics. So I had the pleasure of not actually teaching them, but watching them being taught in the studio when I was doing my apprenticeship. So yeah, elite athletes, anybody, all down to the spectrum, teenagers, children even, works wonders for everyone.
No, that's great. And obviously, we're doing online classes with us as well, which is fantastic. You're doing Pilates Mat Work classes on Fridays. Can you tell us, you know, what can your students expect to learn and be taught during those classes?
Okay, lots of stretching and releasing. It's hard to work efficiently if your muscles are really tight. So we need to stretch, we need to release before we can actually do anything. So lots of releases, neck, shoulder, spine, hips as well, and then strengthening work. So working on your core stability, keeping your center, your pelvic floor, your lower abdominals active so that we can move against that. That's a really important aspect. I like to focus on hips, ankles, knees, and spine and shoulders. Those are the things that most people go wrong. So for a nice sort of average-ish sort of Pilates class, lots of strengthening, lots of mobility work in those, and then possibly a relaxation to finish.
Great. Yeah, no, so there's a lot incorporated into that. And as you said, highlighting again some of the areas that, some of the students will benefit from. There's always people out there that are always thinking of doing something like this. I know this year and last year, I think it's probably been one of the best years for people learning new hobbies, learning new skills. For anyone who's maybe thinking of starting up Pilates, is there any kind of tips that you can give them to help them get started?
Yeah, I think it's great to find a good teacher to start with. One who will do sort of face-to-face classes but online, so that they can see what you're doing, so you get feedback from them. You need to talk to them first as well and explain if you've got any issues going on, what you want to achieve from the classes, any things that you want to be correcting or trying to work on. Once you've found that, you're away. Get yourself some nice kit to wear, get a mat. A good thick mat is really useful, and that's about it. Okay,
we got a question there. Yeah, we got a question there from Amanda. So Amanda, thanks so much for joining us today. Amanda asked, do you have to get down on the floor?
No, you don't. Yes, we call it Mat Work Pilates, and that's what we're aiming for. But if that gives you difficulties, no, you can work standing. I do lots of work standing because it's functional as well. We do a lot of time standing. Sitting is a great position to do some work from, using the chair in lots of different ways. So no, we can adapt that perfectly easily, so you don't have to.
Great. And with that, Charlotte, as well, from personal experience, I know a lot of people use Pilates to help with rehab for injuries. So I think that kind of covers what you were saying as well. I'm sure there's plenty of people who start Pilates who maybe have some issues that don't allow them to get onto the floor. So I think Pilates, it's really flexible and adaptable to kind of suit kind of each person's personal circumstances.
Really well put. It's so adaptable. You can make it fit anybody. And I always feel that I make the exercises bend around the person rather than the person bend around the exercises. So yeah, I can make it suit anybody, which is why it's so good for everyone. It's
Wonderful. A lot of really great information there, Charlotte. Thank you so much for that. I'm sure that's helped a lot of people. As we said, your next class is on Friday the 19th at 11:30. So if anyone would like to join Charlotte, as you can see, she's lots of helpful information there, and I'm sure you can all benefit from that. So if there is any other questions or anything you'd like to know about our classes, please feel free to pop a comment in the box below, or you can get in touch with us here in the office. So Charlotte, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate that. And we look forward to seeing you on your class next Friday.
That's great. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.